I'm in Harlem, just up at a gas station. I'm doing a follow-up review on the Helite Turtle vest, and I shortened this lanyard or ripcord that you attach to the vest, you know, because I felt it was too long. So now when I step off the bike, it's like ready to go, like it's already ready to pull. It's already like just about ready to pull. Or if I stepped away, if I leaned away from the bike, it would be ready to pull the ripcord. But it's not easy to pull this ripcord. I mean, you really got to put some effort into it. Just getting off the bike and leaning into it is not going to be enough to set it off. You'd have to like get off the bike and fall, and that would rip the cord. But the cord doesn't come out like easily. But one of the things I noticed was, like, with me anyway, when I put the cord, if I hide it up in here, I'm more apt to forget it. And I noticed it on a couple of rides where I was going somewhere up in Bronx, and I forgot to, I forgot to put it on. So I don't recommend hiding the thing too much. Yeah, I definitely recommend stowing this ripcord. Like, when you get off the bike, if you're going somewhere and then you're going to be getting back on the bike, leave the ripcord hanging out, because I don't think anybody would steal it. I mean, I could be wrong, but it doesn't seem like something to be worth it for someone to steal. But I think that's your biggest issue with the Helite Turtle vest, is forgetting to put the ripcord on, because obviously if you go down and you don't have the ripcord on, it's useless, you know. So it doesn't have a backup with the G-force or GPS indication, you know, or whatever, showing that you've well, I don't think it used GPS, but it has like some, you know, G-force shock determination to tell whether or not, you know, that you've hit something or stopped abruptly when you hit an object. So I guess that's what the Dianese vest is, you know, stuff like that. But one of the reasons why I chose this vest was because I thought about it and I said to myself, you know, I don't feel comfortable paying a subscription for something that's going to save my life. You know, I don't feel comfortable with that. And I don't know enough about how it works. You know, whether or not if you lapse on it, will it, you know, I just don't know anything about it. And I would be like heartbroken if I went down and had a situation where I didn't pay the credit card bill. You know, it just seems nuts to me. I just can't imagine that, you know. I like to have something like this where you hook it up and it's on you, you know. But I don't think those, I would think on the track and stuff like that, you don't want to use like a Dianese vest. It's also sleeker in design. It looks better for a sport bike rider. It looks like something that would be good for a sport bike rider. So I would think, you know, you'd want one of those Dianese vests or something like that. If you were on a sport bike, you may want something like that. Maybe. I'm not sure. You know, because the Helite Turtle vest is quite big, you know. It's meant to be worn over a jacket, quite bulky, definitely not efficient in the wind, you know. I mean, it's all right. But I'm not really dealing with shit like that. when I'm riding. You know, I'm not racing bikes, you know, so I don't have to worry about wind coefficient and stuff like that. It doesn't catch the wind, but I'm saying I wouldn't want to be on a sport bike on the track, whipping around turns doing $130, you know, with this thing dragging on me. And I think with those Dianese vests and all that, they're meant to be worn underneath a, maybe underneath on some of the models. So I think it might be better for a sport bike rider. But I just don't know enough about it. For me to talk about it, I'm not experienced enough about it to say. Like, I don't know enough about the Dianese vest to be an expert about it. But if much of my time using this and talking to other riders, I think the biggest problem with the Helite Turtle vest is not remembering to clip it on. So you want this ripcord to be laying out somewhere, like when you get off the bike. I think the best option, actually, and I caught myself a couple times where my instinct in New York is to tuck things away, because you know, someone's going to be sitting on your bike when you're not around, picking away at it. You know, every time I left my bike in Harlem, you know, my phone mount gets fucked with or whatever. You know, someone would just rip something off the bike just for the fuck of it. So, you know, your instinct is to tuck shit in. That's your first instinct anyway. But you want to try to forget about that shit with this cord. You want to leave this thing out in the open, hanging over the tank, so that when you get off, there's no chance of you forgetting. No matter what, you're going to put it on because it's right in your face, you know, when you get on the bike. That seems the best option. But that's also why I put it on the bars and I made the cord short. But I had some commenters chime in and say you're supposed to tie that on underneath the gas tank or something, which, you know, or underneath your seat, which kind of makes sense. I would think that's actually better. So I might try to find a new location for it. Maybe under the seat will you know, the problem is under the seat on the XR means dismounting stuff, you know. So you got to take the bike apart. It's not like other bikes where you put your key in and then you can pop off your seat. The XR requires what I would call extensive to remove. You have to take your fairings off on both sides. You got to go underneath the wheel well of the bike, you know, unbolt the two bolts that come in from the inside to the seat, and then you got your seat strap with two Allen bolts. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fasteners you got to take off, you know, to get to it. So it's not something you would do, like, unless you really had to. So that's why I put mine on the bars, because if you need to adjust it or, you know, something, whatever, it's right there. So those are my takes on it. But so far, oh, it gets really dirty too, because the Helite Turtle vests, I got it in the high vis. I think they all come in some sort of high vis, you know. And I noticed, like, it's very good, the reflector on it. Like, if you ever drive past a building or something and look at yourself in the glass and have your headlight shining and bouncing around, or if a car comes past, you know, you'll see the reflector on it is really good. All the reflective material on it is really good. So I would say that's good, but it gets really dirty, you know, from being exposed in the road because it's over your jacket. So any backpack you put on or anything. Wow, that was fucked up. Like I was about to come over on. Yeah, so it gets really dirty, and I'm not really sure what the procedure is to clean it. I'm afraid to throw it into a washing machine, so wouldn't mind hearing from some other riders of what do you do to clean your Helite vest. Be curious to know. That'd be real interesting to know. So yeah, because I think I just don't feel comfortable putting that into the bathtub to wash it. You know, I definitely wouldn't put it into a washing machine without a doubt. That'd be a big no-no to do that. But the product seems well made, so I don't see anything wrong with that. And the question would be, like, depending on the bike you have, where are you going to tie it on? That definitely would be a question I would have for other riders to let me know what you think about washing it. Where to tie? Where's your best place to tie on an XR if you know an XR? Because an XR doesn't really have any safe place to tie down on the right side. Underneath the gas tank would be exposing the strap to really high temperatures, so I don't think that would be good because it's an air-cooled bike. So I'd say no to that. So anyway, let me know what you think, what your ideas are on it, because I'd be curious to know what you think. And I fucked up and came down here. I wasn't supposed to come down the 23rd. I was talking away. I was supposed to turn on another street. So anyway, now I got a buggy up to Amsterdam, so I think I'm going to go up 6th Avenue. Take this across and then take 6th Avenue up or something, or maybe 8th, I don't know, we'll see. Well, anyway, You get the gist of what I'm saying. Like, the vest is good. You don't want to forget to put it on. And what else can I think of? Oh, yeah, and I was also going to talk about this service tank. It's definitely transforms this bike. Because I lost, my KLR got totaled, so I had no choice but to get this XR outfitted to replace the KLR. So that's what I've done with this bike. I've outfitted it to replace the KLR, and that's why I have this windscreen on here. Zeta windscreen. It's fine. It's for an XR 650. I mean, it's for a CRF 450, because they don't make it specifically for the XR. I went ahead and got that, and then my biggest problem was fueling up. Like, sometimes I'd be fueling up twice in a day, which is, you know, pretty insane. So that's why I went ahead and got the A-Service 5.8, and so far I can highly recommend it. I think the A-Service is spot on, man. I mean, it just takes care of everything. You fill it up, and I was very concerned about the weight, because I really like the XR because of its weight. You know, it's like 340 pounds, something like that. Maybe lighter, I don't know, something around that range. But it's 100 pounds lighter than the KLR. And that's huge. So I wasn't looking to put a lot of weight on this thing. But I noticed, like, when you fill the tank up, it doesn't even affect the way the bike drives. I mean, I just filled this tank up, and I'm doing local technical city stuff, low speed technical driving, putting my feet down and stuff, and I'm not having any issue. No issue at all with the, you know, I put my feet down and losing my balance or anything like that with the weight of the bike. It's good to go. So I would say this 5.8 is really spot on, man. I mean, it takes care of everything. It does what you need for an XR if you're having fuel issues with the 2.9, which almost everybody is, you know, because when you're fueling up like twice a day, sometimes, it's tough, man. It's rough on this, on the stock bike. Definitely rough. But on this bike, I'm not having a problem with the weight at all. It's totally matching up to my needs, you know. Yeah, this looks clear enough. I think I'll just go straight up. I saw a guy going on, the guy was riding one wheel on a Suron. Just went by. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I don't see many of those around here. I sometimes feel like there's something going on with all this electric push, you know, and what happens if they ban gasoline motorcycles, you know, in New York? What if, you know? And I thought about those different electric. I don't like a Zero because it just doesn't have the range, you know. And then that new Zero is like an adventure bike, and looks fucking heavy, man. 540 pounds. That guy was like totally away. He's like fucking stepping back like I was gonna run up the curb. Oh man, what the fuck is this thing doing here? Big ass fucking metal truck. Every time I come through here, I see that generator. Honda. That thing's expensive, man. Honda to Honda. So, yeah. So this, the 2.8 gallon on the stock XR is kind of fucked up, actually. That they made, but there are certain things about that. It has fins sticking out to cool the bike off. The fins stick a little bit lower. They do actually cover your legs a little better. So you're not getting the coverage on your legs that you'd want. Because I noticed like the stock tank on the XR with those fins that stick, they actually stick down at an angle. Because when I first got on the XR with the A service tank, I was like, my legs felt naked. And I was like, whoa, what happened? You know, like, and then because I was thinking, you know, this tank's bigger, it should actually cover you more, but it turns out no, you know, like yeah, that bus driver had enough, man. He was like, fuck this, I'm fucking blowing the light. So I just followed along him. Here's a couple of horse cops. These guys, you don't even fuck with these guys. So yeah, if I had to say, is the A Service 5.8 worth it? Absolutely, without a doubt. Because the problem with the stock tank is, no matter how you twist and turn it, you're gonna be fueling up quite often. You're gonna be fueling up a lot, man. It's not cool. with the amount of times that you got to fuel up on the XR. Like, it's significant. Oh man, the fucking thing's black. This is jamming. Let me get through this thing. Yeah, we're talking jamming now. Jamming. So I would say you have no choice on this bike if you're, because I chose this bike because it's light. I found the KLR to be too heavy. I knew my days were numbered on that KLR. I mean, I'm 50. I'm 50. You know, what am I? I'm not trying to fool anybody. And I don't really remember the KLR being a problem when I was in my, you know, early 30s, late 20s. I think the KLR was fine. No issue. But for me to say that the KLR being a, you know, 50 and saying the KLR is manageable, it is. I mean, if I was living in LA and really didn't have any tight technical city riding, constant, like, you know, this is like right now, like a car cuts in front of me and I lay this down, I'm probably gonna be okay. I mean, unless it's a big fucking truck taking me out or something. But now I got this vest, keep things safe. If it's better, it helps. Oh, the back protector on this Helite Turtle is awesome. I mean, it's got a really nice back protector. You don't even need, if you're wearing like a motorcycle jacket, you don't need a back protector if you're wearing the Helite over. Definitely don't need it. But you can see how this riding is. I mean, a lot of people turning, moving, cutting, coming in from all directions. Shit happens, you know, and you don't want to be going down on something that's 460 pounds, you know, that, not to mention the fact that the weight of the bike coming at you will break something, you know, and that's just a fact. So it's better to be on something that's lighter, so you can at least manage better. And then when you're doing this tight technical stuff in the city, being on a heavy bike when you're going slow, because obviously a bike when you're moving, speed doesn't affect you, you know. As you're moving, like the weight of the KLR when you're moving fast, it doesn't affect you at all. It doesn't even, it's nothing, you know. It's a no issue. But when you're on the KLR on slow speed stuff, you can feel the weight of the bike, man, and it's too much, you know. too much weight. This bike, I've never felt that. And I'm glad I got this bike. But I remember when I went to buy it, and the guy at the dealership was like, why do you want an XR, man? I mean, it's old technology, carbureted, and what are you going to do with it? And I'm like, I'm going to be riding in the city in New York. And he was like, oh my God, why do you want that bike? And, you know, I don't blame the salesman for saying that. Because, you know, what would you want with a bike like this? You might not want this, you know? Might not be for you. So you have to really make the choice, you know. And then I made the choice on this bike, and then I regretted the fuel situation. I was like regretting that later. I was kind of regretting the fuel situation. But this Ace Urbis 5.8. So here now I'm getting off the bike. You'll see, like this ripcord, it's already taut. This is the elastic part. Now you've reached the limit, and it's starting to pull at the jacket, and you can feel. So you know you take it off at that point. But here's this big bad boy. Nice bike. Nice tank and nice cap on there. Ace Urbis locking cap. Works fine. Alright everybody, see you on the next one.